morning, everybody. It's Saturday morning here in the Philippines on the 21st of December, and I've been offline for about 5 days because the fevers and gastric problems I thought I got over, I hadn't, and they came back. And what it seems now apparent after going to the doctor is the local water that I'm drinking, even the bottled water, is not actually treated water. It's purified, which basically means filtered. So the doctor pointed out to me that I should be actually drinking only water that you buy that is distilled. So this is the one I'm drinking at present, but any of the ones that say distilled, then I'm fine with. So, and since then, lost the stomach cramps, everything's back to normal, lost the fevers. So just a word of recommendation is that even with the bottled water, you have to trust what you drink. It has to be distilled. Behind me, you'll see on the table, we have the big blue bottle, like the office water. Again, that's just filtered, it's not distilled. So use it for boiling the kettle, that's all. And as far as the tap water goes, I've been recommended not even to scrub my teeth with it. Basically, it's only good for doing laundry and taking a shower if you keep your mouth shut. So anyway, what I wanted to talk about today is something that obviously it's taken a few months of being here to get the information together, is about the actual living costs and setup costs in the Philippines. A lot of people have asked me what the costs are, if I come to the Philippines, how much would I expect to pay. So what I'm going to do is just run through some of the costs that we've had in setting up here for our particular situation. And my idea this time was, because I was coming for a relatively short period this time, just to sort of suss out the situation with rentals and prices of houses, etc. Instead of staying in a hotel for 5 months, was to actually look for a short-term rent. So it worked out in the end that I saved an awful lot of money on if I've stayed here for 5 months by renting in a hotel. Even though the hotels are cheap, we found one now recently that we're only paying, you can pay 800 pesos a night, and it's good. It's clean, tidy. There's a small restaurant. 800 pesos is around about 12-14 pounds per night English, and about $16 to $18, I suppose, US. So, but anyway, back to where we are now. As you can see, the apartment we rented is one big room with an ensuite shower, toilet, and for this we're paying 5,000 pesos a month. 5,000 pesos is approximately 85 pounds, or about $100 a month. So that, as you can see, is a massive reduction in the cost of renting if you're in Europe or the US. That's what swayed my decision to actually rent somewhere. Now, obviously, when we got this place, it was just an empty room. What you see behind me is literally what it was without anything in it. So I had to buy absolutely everything. But even when I worked out in my head what that would roughly cost, it was still an awful lot cheaper than spending out, £300-400 for a hotel for a month, maybe 500 a month for a hotel. And then you've got the freedom, of course, of your own place. So what I've done is written down a few things on costs. So as I said, our monthly rent is around 5,000 pesos, 85 pounds, $100. Our water, now again, as I just said, the water is different to at home. The water itself, because it's not treated and stuff, it's just literally pumped to your house at a very low pressure, I might add. It is working out at about £3 or £4 or $5-6 a month. And then I have to buy the big bottles of water. So that's costing about £1 or $1.30 for 6 or 7 litres. But it's still, the water will never cost me more than about £10 a month. So you've got that electricity. Now, if you see on the wall behind me, I bought an aircon unit. The aircon unit itself cost me £180, which is about $250. It's not a dehumidifier, it's just an aircon, and that's one thing that I do regret, because the humidity is so high here. Today it's at 90%. So that, allowing for the running of that, because that's on whenever we're in the room. The electricity, including running the refrigerator we bought, the electricity is costing about 2,000 pesos a month, which is approximately £30 or $40 US. The refrigerator, again, mostly in line with buying a fridge at home, so that set me back £180, so $250 say, and it's got a mini freezer at the top. We had to buy the stove, which over here there's no mains gas, so you have to buy, it's like Cala gas in effect. This one we've got is called Gasol. So we had to buy a stove, which is like a big camping type stove, and the gas plus the bottle, which the stove set us back about 2,500. The stove in effect was £40, like $55 US. The gas and bottle initially was a bit expensive because you're paying for the deposit on the bottle. So that was 2,800 or 45, 50 pounds, which is about $60 US. Obviously, you needed the basics like a bed. So over here, as yet, unless you go to the big stores on the bigger islands, you won't find like sprung mattresses, etc., and the beds like you'd expect in the West. It's basically different thicknesses of foam. Now, we bought, initially we bought like a 3 or 4 inch thick foam mattress, which was okay, but decided to go full hog and buy I think it looks maybe 8 or 10 inches thick, and put that on top. So those two together cost us a little bit more, but 8,000, which is about £130, $160, $170. The one problem I'm finding with the foam mattress, because of the humidity here and the heat, is that the foam tends to reflect your own body heat. So I've had a few issues with trying to keep cool in the night. But I think as I'm gradually adapting to it, it's not so bad. But I do expect usually have to change my t-shirt 2 or 3 times in the night on some of the bad nights, like last night, for instance. Because you just do sweat and you wake up just totally wet in sweat. So the mattress, the table and chairs, obviously you need the basics, the one I'm using right now, and then we need a second table for the kitchen area just to be able to prepare. So the kitchen table was cheap, £16, just a plastic one that you snap together, like $20 US. That wasn't really a big problem. This table and chairs we're using now, a little bit better, cheapest we could find, but it's relatively strong. It's a metal framed with a glass top. That set me back, what I'm looking here, about 7,000 pesos, £112 or like $140, $150. Then you need storage units. If you see behind me for the wardrobe, we bought one of the, you make a metal frame and it's covered in cloth. That'll suffice for what we need at this moment in time. That was a couple of thousand, I believe. And then we also had the unit that you see, the all the kitchen utensils and some of our food on, and then some other small storage units to put odds and sods. You never seem to have enough storage. We still got things on the floor. But all in all, that set me back about another £100 for all of that. So, $150. We then had to buy curtains, of course, for the actual front of the apartment. Apart from the curtains, the pole, etc., to go with it. There was another £25 or $40. The bedding, which we had to buy, like 2 sets of sheets, some very light blankets, if you like. Wouldn't really describe them as a blanket in the US or the UK, just more like another sheet. But that 3 sets of that cost us about £1,500. So again, about 30-40 quid. So $50, not too bad. A fan is essential. Although I would recommend not getting such a big fan as I bought. We have it on number 1, and even that is too strong. You just want something to waft the air around a little bit. But that set us back £40, which is about $60. And then you've got the things you don't even think about. Dishes, utensils, plates, cooking pots, laundry baskets, because you have to do, the laundry by hand. So that, in all, roughly set us back about £100 or $150. And then, I bought some things for my own home comforts, like a toaster, egg cooker, a kettle. So there's another £50 there. So all in all, I worked out approximately that we spent about £1,200 or about $1,600 for everything all in, to set up the apartment so that it was livable. There are a few things I would like. I mean, we've got no TV, but I use my laptop and we can stream on films on the laptop, like the news services, etc., from Sky, CNN, etc. You can just stream to your laptop. So a TV is not essential. Maybe Angelica would disagree with that, and if we had a TV, she could watch some of the local programs. Everybody seems to have a music system over here, and the biggest you can find, but they usually set you back about 5,000 pesos for a relatively good one, about £80, $100. But I didn't buy one because, again, it wasn't really that essential. Just headphones, etc., and that will do. So once you're set up with your rent, gas, electric, etc., then you're looking at, for this situation, we are in northern Bohol, which isn't a holiday area as such. It's just a normal rural town. Then you're looking at about 130 pounds a month for your bills, etc., including your rent. Now, one thing that is very easy to underestimate is the price of food. At first, it seems very cheap, particularly if you eat out. And this is one thing I can't get my head around, because after running a food business myself, the 3-time rule applied to make sure you make a profit on whatever you buy it for. You sort of at least triple the price, to make your money. Meat and stuff over here, chicken, pork, is cheaper than it is in the UK and I presume the US. So the meat's not an issue. Again, rice. It's when you come to buying vegetables, I've been quite surprised and shocked at the price of basic vegetables. Like if you want red peppers, capsicums, I think is another name for them, red, green or yellow peppers. At home I'm paying about 50, 60p on average for those, and they're big, which is probably about 70, 80 cents. Here you're paying twice that for very, very small ones, if you can find them, and the quality of them is quite poor. Cabbage, like a normal green white cabbage, I can find, and that's relatively cheaply priced, probably cheaper than home. But carrots, again, gobsmacked me in the price. You're talking about paying probably 80-90 pence for 2 carrots that are cellophane wrapped, whereas at home I'd be buying 2 kilogram or a 2 pound of carrots for the same price. Same with potatoes. You're buying them almost each. Again, it's because potato isn't part of their stable diet, and it's obviously rice. So it's just a supply and demand. Fruit is expensive as well. You'll buy like apple or oranges. They're all imported, and you buy them each. So all in all, you can quite easily go to the local supermarket and spend £10, $15 a day just on bits and pieces. And yet if you go out to the local, it's Jollibee, which is very much like a KFC, for 2 of you, you'll spend, 2 good-sized meals. You'll spend maybe 350 pesos, which is about £6, $8, and be able to eat out for that. And the same with some of the local restaurants. It's roughly, for 2 people, you'll spend no more than £10 at a time, just for a standard sort of quality food outdoors. So anyway, it's just really to sort of make sure that you understand that although there are things that are a lot cheaper here, there are things that are a lot more expensive, and you have to change the way you eat from a Western lifestyle, that's for sure, to eat the cheapest way. Not eating poorly, just eating differently. I think that's the difference. So, yeah, but it still worked out an awful lot cheaper than if I'd stayed in a hotel and we were eating out every night for 5 months. So we've been looking around, to see what else is around as far as rents go, because this obviously is just a stopgap, and when I come back again, we were looking for somewhere a little bit better, maybe a sort of 3-bed house with a little bit of garden, etc. We saw one a couple of days ago, and they were only asking 6,000, although the location wasn't exactly acceptable for us. It was obviously built on, like, in somebody's spare bit of land on the back of the house, and it was quite hemmed in. But it goes to show, you can get something bigger and better. This one was just something that we found in a hurry, perfectly clean and acceptable. But I think for a little bit more, take some time, and a longer term lease, we can find somewhere that is going to be more suitable to us. So I hope that you found the information that I've given helpful. So, if you're coming for more than 3 months or so, then I would seriously recommend looking for short-term lease. There are a lot of places available. Rooms you can get much cheaper, obviously, and just take your time and find somewhere. Do what I did, and that's book yourself in a hotel for the first 5 days or so, with the option to extend in while you look around, and you will find somewhere. It's the cheapest way to be here. So thanks for watching, and by all means ask some questions on any more information you would like, and I'll respond and try and cover. But thank you for watching. Like and subscribe to Martin's Living on an Island, and have a good evening or good day wherever you are. Bye bye.